Cool.
All right.
I think we're live, Yusuf.
We are live. Pretty exciting. We are, for those just joining us, we're going to give everyone like just 2 minutes to filter in. So we'll get started at like 2 minutes past. I can see that number ticking up. Why don't we start with some, good small talk, weather-based small talk. I think that's a good place to start. I am currently hiding from the Toronto lockdowns in New York City, and it is beautiful, and it is a nice time. It is a little hot. Went for a walk earlier, a little hot, but it is really nice.
I love it.
Yeah, where are you, Henry?
We're closer than ever, you and I, geographically, Yusuf, as I'm in Providence, Rhode Island, and I think we're also sharing weather for the first time, really, because usually you're in Toronto, so it's not quite the same patterns, but beautiful day out here, and just finally in the thick of summer. It's just great.
Love it.
It's just great.
Sweet. Erica Balza just told us she's in Northeast Wisconsin, 49 degrees today, but yesterday was 80.
Ooh.
Okay.
If
you want to share where you are, please do use the chat, and we'd love to hear from you. We're going to get going in just a second.
I did a little outdoor dining yesterday, Yusuf. Nice, beautiful evening out. Yeah,
love it.
It's great. Things are opening back up. It's the dream.
Okay, we got folks in Arizona, Portland, Berlin. I like it. Remote American accountant. That is remote. I love it. Indiana. We got Washington State, Orange County.
Orange County is always nice.
Columbus, Ohio, Memphis. Beautiful day and flowers blooming throughout the city. I love it. It's great. Summer's here, I think, and the pandemic is sort of getting closer to being over. Olympia, Washington. Shelley, great. Miami, beautiful, warm, breezy, and sunny. Oh man, that all sounds wonderful. I'd love to go to the beach right now. But let's talk about something far more exciting than being on a beach in Miami. And even in Richmond, Virginia, it is a beautiful day. San Francisco is a balmy 14 degrees Celsius, 57 Fahrenheit. Orange County, oh my God, this is keeping going. Okay, we're gonna jump right into it. Otherwise, I'm gonna spend all day nerding out on the weather across the country. Yolanda in Madera, California, 61 degrees. Will be 90 by the end of today. Wow.
Jeez.
Okay, so today we are talking about what's next at Relay, featuring your hosts, this guy and that guy. I hope he's on the other side, otherwise I'm pointing into nothing. I'll give myself a quick intro, then Henry, you can give yourself a quick intro. I'm Yusuf. I'm one of the founders of Relay. I've been around the kind of accounting and bookkeeping space for most of my career, first at a company called Wave, and then at HubDoc. And I think it's probably one of the most dynamic communities in the world. And I think the passion that accountants and bookkeepers have for helping their small business clients is like unparalleled. So super excited to get to continue to do that with Relay and work with all of you. Henry.
Awesome. Thanks, Yusuf. Henry, head of product. I've probably met a great deal of the folks that are attending this webinar because this might have been the friendly face that gave you a demo of Relay in 2020. Generally love connecting with our customers, prospects, and helping to build out new features and functionality that's going to help accountants and bookkeepers, and also obviously help your clients.
Sweet. Okay, couple pieces of housekeeping. This is being recorded, so if Henry and I make any mistakes, they will live on forever, which is awesome. And then 2, we'll send you the recording, and we will also share the slides. So if you do have to jump for whatever reason, don't feel overly stressed by it. We will send an email afterwards. We'd love for you to stay, obviously, but just in case. Let's get going and let's talk about our agenda for today. So 3 main topics. Let's just do a quick reminder, refresher on like, what is Relay? What do we do? Why do people love us? Why is this product so exciting? 2, how do advisors generally introduce Relay to their clients? Like, how do you have that conversation? And how do you have it successfully? And then 3, let's talk about what is on our roadmap, what's coming, what's exciting, why are we both so jacked up on this Thursday morning / early afternoon. Cool, let's get going. So a quick refresher on Relay itself. Relay is banking designed for seamless bookkeeping. From your perspective as an advisor, there's a few things that you definitely love. It's accessing client banking from, like, we have a partner portal, so you can just switch between client accounts just like you could in QBOA or Zero HQ, really easy. You get to enjoy enriched data. So like a check is deposited, you actually get the check data inside of Relay, we pass it across into the accounting system. So easy, no chasing down your clients for this additional information. And then we have direct bank feeds into both Xero and QuickBooks Online. So it's super reliable. It's like software talking to software. There's no scrapers, there's no 2FA codes, none of that mess. It's all really seamless. And then 3 is you can actually help your clients automate their bills with approval workflows and have that all baked into the bank account, which is huge. The thing we hear from advisors is like, this is the easiest thing I can deliver for my clients, but for my clients, this is mind blowing. This is what they care about. So it's great to have that as part of the bundle, while also making your own practice more efficient by having access to the data you need, having a data reliably being piped into the accounting system. And the nice thing is with Relay, there's no account fees to your clients. So you actually have you're able to actually bundle in banking, which is quite a new idea, right? And be able to deliver value for your clients as part of that. And it's great to be able to simplify client expense tracking with dedicated cards and accounts. And if you want to dig in on any of this and go deeper, we'll definitely share a link to schedule a demo. Perhaps Mattis, you could share that in the chat. So if people do want to just book a demo and go through a personalized walkthrough, just to kind of get a refresh on this stuff, we'd love to spend the time. Sweet. So I think we're all familiar with, generally the notion that business banking sucks. I think there are very few people that kind of think oh yeah, I love Wells Fargo business checking. It really adds a lot of value to my life. So the core premise here is that traditional business banks don't address the needs of accountants and bookkeepers. It's just not high up on their priority list. And there's a few things that are particularly painful. So one is messy, low quality transaction data. Actually makes the bookkeeping difficult. So as an example, when checks are deposited, they either come through as mobile check deposit or check 1234. It lacks transactional context to help you do the bookkeeping. So you're often chasing down additional information, which makes it harder to close the books. 2, just because you're trying to get access to the information and get into the accounting system, you actually end up taking on liability risks because clients end up sharing their bank logins, which is not great. To put it lightly. And then lastly, there's no true back office integration. So it almost makes manual reconciliation mandatory. This can be across the quality of the information. It could be just actually getting the data in reliably, so there's no duplicates. It has a host of longer tail implications. Cool. So this is why advisors really use Relay, because we make bookkeeping easier, faster, and more secure. Better, faster, harder, right? And there's really 3 things. 3 things. So one, Relay's bank feeds, as we talked about, comes with enriched transaction data. So that's check deposit data actually is populated for you. It shows up in the accounting system. Really, really easy. We have a lot of transactional context around cards. All the attribution of spending becomes a lot easier in that context. 2, you actually have access to your client's financial data. And so we're talking about actually being able to log into the bank with secure access and controlled access, being able to get their statements really easily, and you're really able to reduce your liability risk. And then lastly, and certainly not leastly, if leastly is a word, it really helps automate approvals as well as automatically syncs in any unpaid bills from QuickBooks Online and Xero. And this really simplifies the AP process. So from a banking perspective, it's really easy to see, okay, here's what is valuable for me as a firm, as well as I'm getting this value for my client because I can have a better client experience, and really eliminate the friction between the advisor-client relationship. And we see that where, when you're dealing with a traditional bank, it might be the nerve center of it all, right? Everything connects back to the bank, but it is not integrated. It's entirely siloed. And so our premise for Relay is, what if you had a bank that was deeply integrated into the accounting system? What are the long-term benefits of that? Could you increase cash flow visibility? Could you have actually reliable bank feeds? Would you need to not chase down your clients for bank statements, right? That's what we did at HubDoc. We made it easy to get you access to bank statements, and that just has gotten harder and harder because of the security and controls that these bigger banks are putting in place, which actually limit access and limit financial visibility for these business owners. And then lastly, actually making it straightforward to get your clients bill payments, wanting to be able to make a bill payment making that process really simple and getting approvals as part of your core workflows and not needing to stitch together a whole host of solutions just to deliver like basic services. Cool. Sweet. And we have a question here, and we are going to cover it. Can you guys cover how the bill pay works? For some reason, I've been able to bring the bills over from Xero. We will absolutely do a quick demo. Definitely worth, again, maybe Mattis, you can post a link to a demo, jump on a call with one of our team. We'd love to take you through it as well as troubleshoot. As folks know, customer service is like so critical to us. Yeah, we're always here to help. And as you have questions, please do pop them in the Q&A or the chat. I'll try and, well, both Henry and I will try and incorporate them as it makes sense as we're going through. If not, there is a Q&A period at the end. And I think someone just asked, just doubling down here, recording will be sent as well as the slides. So you'll get all of that in your email inbox. So, from the small business perspective, what they really struggle with is actually finding banking that fits their needs. Like most business checking accounts are really just rebranded consumer checking accounts, and they maybe charge you a little more money, right? It's not really value focused. And so what we see in the market is the average SMB today actually uses 30 plus apps to run their business. They're really trying to stitch together that small business ERP. And it makes it really challenging to actually stay on top of all of this stuff. And then on top of that, because their needs are so poorly served, they're actually ending up having to have 2.64 banking relationships. And I think this next stat actually really shocked us when we found it, even though we're obviously proponents of finding better banking solutions, is that 55% of SMBs in 2019 actually changed or added a financial institution to their stack. So there's a lot of churn across this segment, and there's a lot of opportunity to really control the narrative around what banking and how it should be, what banking your SMBs should use and how it should impact their business and their ability to have cash flow visibility. So Relay, obviously, of course, directly addresses these challenges. And so there's really two things that are super valuable here. One is we make it easy to actually automate the AP process end to end. You have approval workflows. You don't have to have expensive, enterprise software. You're not paying $40 per user per month. None of that stuff. It's really, really straightforward, and it is much more sophisticated, candidly, than you might assume. So I can't wait for Henry's demo in the next 5-10 minutes. But also just generally, if you do want to learn more, do hit up that demo because we'd love to take you through it one-on-one. And then two is making it easy for your small business owners to give you access to the information you need. Even with our accountant and bookkeeper, oftentimes, if there's a third-party account that we have to use that is not our Relay account, it is painful to get that email. Our bookkeeper, Nancy, she's so wonderful, but she sends us that email. I'm like, oh God, I got to lose 30 minutes of my life finding this piece of information. And so this really makes it easier on your clients to just say, hey, I know all you want me to do is deliver a clean set of books at the end of the month. Here is how we do it. And I'm not going to ask you for additional information. And we're going to be able to cut down the number of touch points and deliver a better client experience. So how do you actually, it's great once you're there, but how do you start that conversation? How do you introduce Relay to your clients? Obviously the stock photo is like a perfect example. This demo is going so well. We've got our accountant, we've got our bookkeeper, and let's just get into it. So when you think about Relay and positioning it to your clients, our guidance is always to focus on what are the challenges the business is having as it relates to their back office or really managing their finances. So the number one bullet here is really finding that pain point that is unique to your business and suggesting that as a starting point with Relay. And so here we have listed kind of a range of problems that business owners often face and are entry points for using Relay in their business. So one of them is, managing managing their cash flow. This could be kind of like the profit first approach or philosophy. This could be trying to understand what is happening inside their business, as simple as just trying to get the data into the accounting system and get closer to real-time financials. It could be getting visibility into employee spending. Really critical to understand what your employees are doing and how they're spending money and getting spend attribution around that and be able to see, oh, it was John that spent this money on the card, and that card is associated with, say, construction project A, or our marketing department, or whatever it is, and you have those levels of controls inside of Relay. Next, it's really clients who lack convenient access to a physical branch. It could be, you have kind of a distributed team. Perhaps you have someone who you want to be able to deposit checks, and they are in, another town or something like that, and it's hard for them to get to a physical branch. This next bullet, I almost candidly wanted to remove the better and just have it say like clients that want customer service from their bank.
Just any customer service.
Any customer service. Look, customer service is so critical and such a pain point for small business owners. Our belief is that for the most part, the reason a lot of small business owners sometimes feel that having a branch nearby is useful is because they know that if there is a problem, they can just walk into that branch and stay there in that branch until their problem is solved. I think that speaks to more of the distrust of traditional financial institutions. And so when there is that kind of break in trust, it's a good opportunity to say, hey, what if we used a more modern solution that solves some cash flow challenges for you as a business, and also will deliver the type of customer service you would like as a small business owner that'll actually make your life easier and not be a tax on your time. And lastly, those business owners that struggle with a manual accounts payable process, maybe they're using online bill pay, Venmo, PayPal. It's disparate. It's hard to get a read on their cash flow situation because you don't know what's coming in, you don't know what's going out. And so centralizing all of that makes it way, way easier.
Yusuf, there's a quick question in the chat that was kind of relevant to the last slide. So we had someone ask, obviously we talked about small, medium-sized business. The question was like, is there a fit here for individuals and then like high net worth individuals, family offices, et cetera? We don't do consumer banking today. We do support sole proprietorships. We do support basically anything that's going to have some form of legal entity. And there's all sorts of different kind of use cases for that, real estate investors, things like that. But on the consumer side today, we're, it's not a use case that we're currently supporting.
Sweet, cool. And let's talk about a bit about businesses that might not be a great fit for Relay. So someone actually just asked, what about cash deposits? And we actually have some exciting news here. So the first bullet does say clients that frequently deposit cash at a local branch. We are currently testing cash deposits. If you are interested in learning more about how that can work for your clients as part of the Relay bundle, we would love to talk to you. Mattis, maybe you could put my email address in the chat if folks want to email me and we can kind of engage and see how we can solve that for you. The other kind of clients that might not be the best fit, if you have clients with like a significant number of checks that need to be deposited in bulk, if we were talking, what would be the number you'd put on that, Henry? Like 40 checks a month, 50?
Yeah, I mean, I hear even more, but yeah, generally I think that's a good ballpark.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say 50 plus checks a month. It is really easy to just like snap a photo using our mobile app. And just get the check deposited, and we do have pretty high limits, so it candidly pretty sweet. And then lastly, businesses that deal with cannabis, CBD, or cryptocurrency, even gambling. We don't have political views here. We're just the messengers on this one. So we unfortunately can't support those businesses. Cool. So the positioning here really, and the way to think about Relay is as an operating account that doesn't require switching banks. You don't have to move from Chase. You don't have to move from Wells Fargo. You can use Relay to actually manage your day-to-day business transactions, automate AP, and get better cash flow control, and combine it with a traditional business bank. So if you need to apply for financing, or you want to keep an existing yield-bearing savings account, maybe we will have yields soon, given the way inflation's going right now. But that would be the combination. Awesome. Okay. All right, and I see the questions are coming in. This is awesome. I love this. Well, we will get to those questions in just a second. So here's how firms are pitching Relay today. They're positioning it as a smart operating account for your business. There's no need to switch banks. Like, you don't need to change. You can just add this on. It's free to get started, right? There's very little switching costs. You can actually manage your cash flow, AP, and expenses all in one place, which for these business owners, they have app fatigue. They're tired of stitching together, 6 different apps to do pretty basic functionality. And it's really like a perfect hub for secure collaboration on your finances. No more sharing bank logins. You actually have controls, not only for external advisors, but also for internal team members, where you can work through your finances and manage and really see what's happening. And as we said before, keep your existing institution. There's no downside to it. Cool. So let's talk about the Relay roadmap. And I love this photo, by the way. This guy he's got it all organized. He looks so relaxed in all that chaos because obviously he's using Relay. Sweet. So, what do advisors and their clients look for in a banking solution? To us, it's really these 4 or 5 things. It's convenience, being able to actually sign up online inside of 10 minutes, having great customer service. It's having integrations into your existing systems. So it's really plug and play. And, as soon as you start with Relay, you can plug it into Xero, you can plug it into QuickBooks Online. Soon we're going to have a Gusto integration that Henry will talk about. And it's super easy to actually collaborate with team members. If I need to issue a card to, one of our new team members, because they need to be able to buy software or something like that, I can do that in a few clicks. It's pretty magical. The nice thing with Relay is that we've invested heavily in making sure we're delivering enriched, reliable data. So when data is coming into the accounting system, it is bookkeeping friendly, and it's not creating a heavy workload for your practice. So I do see these questions coming in.
A lot of questions.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, I think we will come back to those questions because I think there's a good number of them here. And I just promise that we will get there. If you just hang with us for a couple more minutes. So what are we building next? One, on the product side, integrations, advanced accounts payable functionality, spend management, so around cards, making that easy, and then streamlining the workflow and making collaboration really seamless. And in conjunction with that, and a couple of the questions came in, it's hey, do you have any guides, do you have walkthroughs, do you have resources that really help me get my clients on board and help me get the most of Relay? And so we're going to be doing this in parallel. It's going to be a product effort, it's going to be a marketing effort and sales effort to get you these materials, and we will be sharing them as things progress.
Awesome. Yeah, so just keep hold of the slides there, Yusuf. I'll dive in here for folks. If anybody joined late, I'm Henry, head of product here. Excited to kind of give you a little bit of a walkthrough of. We're going to do 3 slides on this. So one is what's coming imminently, and that's 30 to 60 days, and then stuff that's a little bit further out, and then things that we're thinking about for really the future of Relay. And I stress this every time I talk to accountants and bookkeepers on these webinars, trivia nights, whatever it is. If you want to be involved in having an impact on what's going to be on our roadmap, reach out. My email address at the end of these slides. I love talking to accountants and bookkeepers about what they need for their practice out of Relay, what they need for their customers out of Relay. So don't be a stranger. Awesome. So let's dive into this. So the first thing I want to call out that's coming really soon is Relay Pro. We're really excited about this. It's something we've been working on for a little while. The best way to put this into context is you might know that Relay today has an accounts payable solution that's built in. If you've ever gone in and set up the bill pay integration and started to import your unpaid bills from QuickBooks Online or from Xero, then you've tried our accounts payable product. It's a really amazing product. I'm going to show pieces of it in this demo that's coming up in just a couple minutes. It's got approval workflows, audit trail, keeps everything nicely in sync with the ledger. And to date, that's been free in Relay, but soon it's going to be bundled in with additional functionality in a pro tier of Relay that we have aptly named Relay Pro. Relay Pro is going to cost $30 a month for small business owners, but it's going to be discounted for our partners. So if you put clients on it, then it's going to be less expensive for them as a result of your relationship with us, how many clients you have on Relay. The more clients, the more deep discounts you get. And the other nice thing that I want to call out for accountants and bookkeepers on this call, Relay Pro will be entirely free for your business bank account itself. So you'll be able to use the accounts payable functionality as well as other things that are going to be in Relay Pro. And so, basically, we're going to be putting all of our most advanced products and functionality that's designed for kind of power users, things that help streamline workflows above and beyond our core functionality today. Those are the things that are going to go into Relay Pro. And that first step is we're starting with putting our accounts payable integration into there, as well as the ability to send faster payments with same-day ACH. And I want to stress, everything else that you've gotten to enjoy with Relay so far isn't part of Relay Pro. Instead, it's part of just our core banking offering that you know and love, that is free. That includes things like making ACH and check payments, sending wires, the partner portal, the bank feed connection to QBO and Xero, collaboration with user permissions, Relay cards, all of that is part of our standard kind of core offering on Relay. Cool. So what's kind of new and exciting that's coming as part of that? So like I mentioned, faster payments. So that's the ability to send an ACH and have it settle in your kind of destination bank account that day. Really excited about offering that. We've also upgraded our AP solution with batch workflows so that you can submit multiple bills for approval in one foul swoop or pay multiple bills in one foul swoop. And then the thing I'm going to nerd on about the most in this little piece here is the consolidated payment. So if you want to pay 10 bills for one vendor with one check, one ACH, whatever it is, you can now do that in Relay. So really excited. That's the stuff that we're going to show you in the demo that's coming up after this slide. Other exciting stuff that's coming up very, very shortly is our integration with Gusto. A lot of our customers today use Gusto for payroll. A lot of our partners use Gusto with their clients. They use other solutions as well, but there's definitely a lot of momentum behind Gusto. And we wanted to help support that use case, both for partners and for the SMBs themselves. So what are we offering there? We're offering enriched data. So there's going to be a little bit more information about each of those Gusto debits that's coming out of your account. Which contractor is getting paid? What payroll cycle date is this, et cetera? Small enhancements. It's going to make a world of difference when you're in your account and trying to figure out, hey, what was this transaction for? We're also introducing a cool feature called, we're going to label it as our Smart Payroll Manager. That's going to help you identify potential shortfalls. That's going to warn you or your client, say, hey, this account isn't going to have enough funds or potentially may not have enough funds to cover an upcoming payroll debit. And here are some things you can do about that. You can cancel these upcoming payments, you can move funds into the account, etc. We just want to help make sure people aren't going to miss a payroll cycle. We know how brutal that is when it happens. Even if it doesn't happen all the time, thankfully, it might be a rare occurrence, but you do want to get alerts about that if there's something that's at risk there. And then the last piece is there's a lot of great information about your team members in Gusto, and we want to help bring some of that over into Relay to make certain things easier, like adding your new head of marketing or your new employee to your Relay account and getting them a card really easily. That's something that we're excited about doing as part of that integration. And then two last ones here before I hop into a quick demo. One that's really, really great for accountants and bookkeepers is a new client onboarding workflow. Today, you may be adding clients to Relay by inviting them directly, in which case they do the onboarding. Or you might be actually kicking off an invitation to yourself. This is a workflow that firm owners really taught us. They were kicking off invitations to email aliases and then going in and doing the setup. We're creating a dedicated flow. So if you want to set up an account for a client and you have some of their docs, but not all of them, you can go in and basically help get the ball rolling, or get someone totally live on Relay and then just kind of hand over the keys in a way that's a little bit easier to manage on your end. And the last thing that I'm also very enthusiastic about is custom card shipping addresses. This may seem like a small change, but for teams that are distributed, for teams with employees in a couple different places, or maybe, hey, teams that are staying at home because of COVID, now if you're shipping out a physical card, not only are we going to show you, hey, this is the address it's supposed to go to, but you're going to have the option to send it to another address, maybe the option to send it to an employee's address if it's pulled in from Gusto. Lots of different flexibility there. We just want to make sure that those physical cards are going where they're supposed to, rather than the old way, which was just to the business address. Awesome. I'm seeing some enthusiastic reactions to all the enhancements in the chat, which just gets me pumped up. I think I can hop into a quick demo now. Let's see if I can start sharing my screen. I guess I just, oh yeah, I'll stop. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys able to see this kind of settings screen, Yusuf? You can see
Yep.
it?
Chief Hat Inspector.
You know, it's funny, I pulled this up for Henry's Hat Hut. I hadn't logged in here in a little while. I realized I put this rule here, and I gotta say, I feel good about it, Yusuf. Okay, so I just wanted to give the quick background on the bill pay integration, because I know somebody asked, like, hey, how do I get this connected? So today, you can connect it from settings, integrations, and then you're going to choose obviously which of these accounting solutions you may be using. You're just going to click edit, and then this is going to go into Xero, and it's going to look for all the payees. It's going to look for which of your payees may have unpaid bills, and then you have the option to automatically import all of the unpaid bills and all of the payees that are in Xero or QuickBooks Online, or you can do a manual selection. And that's if you want to bring in a subset of folks because, you know, maybe there's only, 10 or 20 certain payees that you're worried about actually managing the AP for in this case. Cool. So then once you've set up that integration, what happens is Relay is going to pull in all the unpaid bills that you asked for into Relay. It's going to be doing that consistently. It refreshes every couple hours. And then you can start to manage your AP process in Relay itself. And so this new section here is kind of where to start. And it's our action items. So I'm going to click on unpaid bills. And now for folks that have actually seen the old bill pay product, you'll notice a sort of complete overhaul of the user experience here. We've made a bunch of changes to make it easier to manage your process around AP. One of the things that we've gotten feedback on was, hey, I need help, getting to the right bill faster. And so because of that, we've introduced, and these are basic things, but they really help get to where you need to go. More advanced filtering. So you can use dates for date invoice, due date, or amount. You can do lots of stuff, between certain amounts, greater than, less than, excellent. And then you can also search by vendor name. And then the other piece of this that we have done to make this whole process even easier is we've actually split it out into separate tabs so that you can look at a specific subset of bills that corresponds with your workflow. And so a good example of that, for example, is needs approval. If you are using approval rules on Relay, then all the bills that are currently awaiting approval or need to be pushed and submitted for approval will live here. And then when we go over to ready for payment, we're going to have our bills that are actually ready to be paid. And so that can be bills that didn't fit under a specific approval rule, or it can be bills that have been fully approved. Everything that is ready to go is going to be here in the ready for payment tab. And, I didn't cover this explicitly, but all of Relay is built around user permissions. And so your firm can have the right level of access to be able to submit bills, only pay bills that are approved, etc. And then the small business owner can do the same, right, with their team outside of your firm. If there's anybody else that's helping with the process, give them the access that they need. The other piece that's really exciting about this is the batch workflows. So if I go into here, for example, I can now start to check off bills and take action on a subset of them. So I'm going to try and see if I can do this. This is perfect. I've grabbed both of these, the Langley Supplies bills. I've got a couple options. I can view them, so that'll take me into a screen where I can look at the attachments, do all of that good stuff, see more details if I need to. But then I can actually submit all these bills for approval at once. And then they get routed to the correct person. So let's submit these for approval. And that's a live demo. We're going to see what happens here. I'm going to pop So obviously, like right away, the status updated. That was great. They're now awaiting approval. I'm going to go over to the needs approval tab. And now I can see, okay, great. There's these other bills in here that have been moved over that need approval. And I actually, Henry Frews, the chief hat inspector, can actually approve these bills. So I'm going to click approve here. Again, I'm doing this in a batch. So I'm approving both of these bills. Perfect. They've now been kind of flushed over to the next screen. And now, so what we've done is we've demonstrated, hey, we've got this great kind of batch workflow. And the last piece that I want to show off is consolidated payments. And so what I kind of teased at the beginning is, hey, you can do multiple bills for one vendor in a single payment. And so, you know, this should work. I'm going to click on all three of these. Let's say, hey, I'm ready to go. I want to pay these 3 bills today. Click initiate payment. Voila, the pop-up shows up, says, hey, some of these bills are for the same vendor. Do you want to consolidate them? I absolutely do. Click next. And now I've got this screen where I can choose, hey, how are we going to pay these bills and what's going on here? So on the right-hand side, I can see we're paying 1 bill for Fedora Wholesale. We're paying 2 bills for Langley Supplies. And then those 2 bills, I'm going to get to decide, is this going out by ACH? Is this going out by check? And then we're kind of good to go. And that's what I wanted to cover here in the demo. So Yusuf, anything that I missed in going over that? Anything else you wanted me to call out? Oh, I think you're on mute.
Here we go. I think one of the things people miss when they're comparing this to, say, you know, another, like a third-party payment processor, like a bill.com or something like that. One thing they miss is the payment settlement times. When you're using a third-party payment processor that is not actually like a banking solution like Relay, you're dealing with 3 to 5 business days to actually make a payment, because they have to pull the funds and then send it out. But with Relay, it's next day payments or same day payments. So not only are you getting this like amazing set of functionality around like your workflows and automating centralizations, approvals, financial controls, you're also getting best in class payment settlement times, which is, I think, one of the best parts.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for filling that in. That's definitely a big differentiator and something that folks ask about a lot. And so, you know, being able to say, hey, I'm in a pinch to move some money for this vendor and I want to keep them happy, and now having same day functionality is something we're really excited to deliver. Awesome. I think I'm going to stop sharing, and then Yusuf will let you go back to your slides.
Sounds great. I think there were just two quick questions that bumped up in the chat. I just want to make sure we don't miss them. Is there any kind of remittance or bank detail that goes to the payee?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of what's going to the payee, they're going to get an email that has invoice number on there, whatever information we were able to glean and pull from the accounting solution. And then what's really nice is if you are paying, let's say, 50 invoices for one vendor and one payment, they're going to get a nice email with a table in it that's explaining all the different invoices that are paid in that payment.
Cool. And then I just, and folks, generally, if you do have questions, throw them in the Q&A, because it just makes it easier for us to make sure we are getting to your question. So just one more sneaky one here from my end, being sneaky. Any chance you guys can allow partial payments at some point?
Yeah, we'd love to do that. That and vendor credits are on the list. I think partial payments is getting a little more momentum from the crowd, but I think that's what we'd love to do that.
Yeah, and just one thing I would add there is as you can tell, we listen to you a lot, and we look to you as our customers and our influencers and supporters to help us figure out what to build, like what creates the most value for your practice, what creates the most value for your small business owners. So the more vocal you are with us, the easier it is for us to look at the signal of what's happening and what pain points we can go out and solve. Cool. And Henry's email will be available. In like
it is, absolutely. And I love talking to our partners and customers. Okay, perfect. So yeah. What's on the roadmap a little further out? So more improvements around our AP solution. So one of the things that we know people are interested in is like, hey, how can I create a bill in Relay? You know, is there a world where I can forward an invoice into Relay and it gets generated in there? That's something that we're really excited about tackling. We also want to enable collaboration in our AP solution. That's really key as well. We know that there's conversations that happen, and the more we can bring that conversation into the system where the bills are being paid and increase that visibility across the team, the better. So you'll be able to chat with your customers on a bill, say, hey, yep, this is good to go, etc. And then you might know we collect W-9s from people that you're paying on Relay. You can basically ask them to provide a W-9, or you can require it for them to get paid. And so those W-9s have been living in Relay, and that's great, but even better would be if it got pushed to the correct vendor in QuickBooks Online or Xero. So that's something else that we're excited about delivering on. And then security and collaboration, as you know, super duper important. So some small changes that we're going to make there, or small enhancements. One is giving firms and small business owners the ability to force their teams to adopt two-factor authentication. And then another is just a little more flexibility around user permissions. We have customers who reach out and say, hey, I want this person able to do these things, but not this other piece of it. And we know that we can probably deliver something a little bit more customizable for each situation. Another piece that I'm really excited about is just enhanced visibility. I talk to a lot of customers that say, I want to get notifications, but I also get 1,000 emails a day. Right. And so I need a little bit of control over what's happening here. And so customizable alerts is something that we want to introduce. Something like an alert for a low balance in a specific checking account is a perfect example. Another improvement for small business owners as well as firm owners is running balances. So we have those on our statements today, but we've had a lot of demand for showing a running balance on the transaction screen as well, just to help with reconciliation if things are not adding up the way we expect. And then last but not least, two little things. One is internal transaction memos. So if you're moving funds within your Relay account, having the ability to put notes on that, and generally having the ability to put a memo on more transactions. It's all about enhancing that visibility. And then last but not least, foreign exchange support. So a lot of our customers are doing business in some capacity internationally, whether that be paying contractors abroad, vendors, etc. And so we can give more flexibility in terms of how that foreign currency, transaction happens, and it can, we want to enable it to happen in Relay, and that can dovetail into multi-currency accounts and all sorts of exciting things. So this is something that we are, that we're investigating and excited about offering more support for. Cool. I think we can go to the longer term roadmap. First on the list here, not much of a surprise. Today, Relay is exclusively debit cards, but we're excited about offering credit cards as well, something that a lot of our customers ask for, some version of rewards with that. There's a lot of, sort of demand for something like cash back. I think that, travel rewards have not been as exciting over the last 18 months or so. And then deeper integrations. And I think, just enabling things both for our customers, but also for the accountants and bookkeepers around helping with your workflows, right? We know that Zapier is something that's making its way into more technology stacks, and something that can help streamline a lot of different processes. So that's something we're excited about investigating. A lot of small business owners and teams live in Slack, so that's a natural place for other things to happen with Relay. We've heard a lot about our support for third-party checks. I'm sure there's folks on this call that have provided feedback around that, and then batch check scanning. And that was somebody we called out at the beginning, right? We said, hey, for a small business owner that's got 100 checks to deposit in a month, they might find it a little painful to do that on their phone, or have their teams do it on approved devices. So being able to offer the ability to go through a scanner or something like that would be big. And then the last two things here, spend management and accounts receivable. Spend a little time on the spend management stuff. Ultimately today, we've got a really great spend management solution, but we know that we can go a lot deeper in enabling more controls around budgets, more functionality around receipt capture and ensuring there's some sort of compliance around that, setting up robust controls that kind of look like an expense management policy right in Relay to make sure you've got really granular controls, and then allowing for transaction categorization to really speed up that process of getting the right categorization for a transaction, and make sure that firm owners and also just small business owners don't have to chase people down for this kind of information. We know that that's something that can be a huge time burden, especially at the end of the month. You know, we want to reduce the pain of outstanding items lists and all of these things. Cool. I think that's kind of it from my end. Yusuf, any additional color you want to provide on any of that?
As always, we're listening and our door is open. So if you're like, hey, this is amazing, right? As a long-term roadmap, tell us. Or if you're like, hey, this sucks, tell us too. That would also be helpful information. Or if it's somewhere in the middle where you're like, hey, it would be nice if you added X, Y, or Z, and I don't see it here. We would love to hear from you. Genuinely, we are, as you can tell and hopefully have experienced, we're highly customer centric. So we want to make you successful with us. So reach out. We'd love to chat with you.
Awesome. I think it's just going to be Q&A, right, Yusuf?
Yeah, basically, we are there. Oh my God, thank you so much, everyone that was so patient. So just on the note of like reaching out to us, here are our emails. Send us an email. If you have general feedback or product feedback, you can email either of us, email both of us. It's there. Mattis will add that in the chat. So you can definitely shoot us an email. We're available. We love talking to customers. If you are a fan of Relay, I mean, we're all fans. I'm a fan. We'd love a review, love a 5-star review. Links to Xero app marketplace as well as the QBO app marketplace. And we'll post those links in the chat. If you feel like, sharing the Relay love, we are all about it.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, let's do the Q&A. So many questions. All right. Great. Cool. So let's start with kind of like functionally focused ones. And then we'll get into some like best practices stuff, because I think there were just a few things here. So there's a question about like, what are the fees associated with Relay? Again, like core banking, no account fees, no minimum balances. Like candidly, what you're getting is equivalent to $250 a year in fees from a traditional financial institution. It's a steal. It's a deal. Best deal of the century, whatever the two guns and smoking barrels quote is. Someone asked about the check deposit limit per day from the phone app. So for most cases, it's about $40,000 a day. If you do need a higher limit or your client needs a higher limit, just reach out to our customer support and we can certainly help you with that. Again, we are super responsive and want to make you and your client successful with us. Can you integrate with accounting software other than QBO and Xero? Specifically, I'm interested in Wave accounting. Yeah, so we actually are part of the Plaid Direct network. So when you go into Wave and search for a bank, you can actually find Relay Financial there as well. So we do have a bank feed that transfers data into Wave itself. Cool. We have a question about Zelle. Do you want to cover this one, Henry?
We hear about it often, and it's something that we want to do, I think, for sure. Just a matter of time, matter of how we can kind of deliver on it. But it comes up often, and it's so locked up with our vision of just making things simpler and making it easier to move money around when you need to. And we know that for a lot of small business owners, Zelle is a great pathway to do that. So it's something that we think about a lot. And as soon as there's an update on us making it real, we'll make sure to let people know.
Yeah, sweet. And then we have a question. Well, let's go through the feature stuff, and then we'll go from there. So how does the approval functionality integrate with the GL, specifically Xero? Do you want to cover that one? Do you want me to cover it?
Yeah. How does it integrate with Xero? Is that like with the process of approvals in Xero itself?
Yeah. So like my understanding is today what we pull into Relay is a bill that has been approved inside of Xero already. So once it's approved inside Xero, we pull it in, and what you're approving is actually the payment as opposed to approving the bill itself. That would be the difference. And
it's, yeah, like I think that that's 100% on point. And the other thing that I've seen in talking to customers is some folks will do one approval in Xero, one in Relay, or they'll do just in Relay, or they will do just in Xero and assume that everything that's now landed in Relay is good to go. So we've seen different different sort of interpretations of it, different uses of it. But yeah,
Cool.
that's spot on.
Sweet. I mean, this is the most important question we've gotten today. How can we get Relay t-shirts? I think the answer, Erica, is send us an email. Tell us your size, give us your address, and we'll mail a t-shirt out to you. We'll be at a Digital Bookkeeper Expo in Las Vegas, June 22nd to 24th. We will also be at Engage, the CPA conference or ASCPA conference at the end of July. So both in Vegas. We're excited to see you there. If you do want to get a t-shirt and you are there, you could also just come by the booth and we'll definitely, there we go. Taj is going to be at BKX. So definitely come and we'll give you a t-shirt. Maybe not give, we'll, give you a virtual hug and we'll go there from there. So I think there were like one or two questions about, the Relay Pro $30 per month fee. How does it get structured? What's included? And so again, like the core banking, everything you're using today, minus the integration to Xero and QuickBooks Online, where we centralize the bills, the approval workflows, and that functionality and the batch payments there, that stuff is, everything there is basically going to continue to be free forever. It's not something we're changing. Relay Pro is really about centralizing bills, making approvals really straightforward, and delivering, a best-in-class experience. And as Henry mentioned, for your firm, you get a free Relay Pro account. So you can test it out for yourself. You can see how it works. You get the benefit of it. And then for your clients, you're actually not going to be charging your clients the $30 per month. You will have that option to charge them a fee, but it will not work that way. What will actually happen is you're going to get a wholesale discount. And I think once you add 3 clients on Relay, Henry, is it $25?
25, yeah. As soon as you've got 3 or more clients, it's 25, and then you can charge it to your firm. You can have them pay for it. You'll also have that flexibility. Yeah, so we're going to try to make it, fairly sort of versatile depending on what your workflow is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be really friendly. And if you'd like to learn more about it and like to jump on a call just to kind of prepare, I'm happy to do that. We're also, as we've mentioned, we're super thoughtful about the relationship between accountants and bookkeepers and their clients. So as Relay Pro goes live, we will be reaching out to you first with the details so you know what's happening in advance of reaching out to clients. And just, when I say reaching out, just really sending them an email, notifying them about Relay Pro. So I think there's going to be, I want to say a 3 or 4 day window between those 2 emails. So know that we're on your side. We want to maintain the dialogue, and we're excited.
Yeah, I think I'll tackle just on that topic because Yolanda asked about it. Yeah, so Relay Pro, you're going to get access to it for free in your own business bank account as a partner, as an advisor, and that does include same-day ACH. And the way that we're doing same-day ACH is we give like a generous allotment of same-day ACH transfers per month. So you're going to have, I think it's 30 or 50 per month, and so you'll get to use it a lot and for free. So it should be great.
Sweet. Okay, great. All right. It's done. Great. Manual checks. So we do bill pay mailed out checks today. You today can't have like a Relay checkbook. That is something we want to support. And that's kind of what Henry was speaking to, as kind of a mid to longer term item. We definitely get a lot of requests for this. So keep requesting it because it pushes us to try and find a solution to it. Cool. And then there's a question about, is there still a 20 bank account limit per organization? There is. If you have a use case where you would like more, reach out to us. We'd love to hear what that is so we can better understand what the needs are, so we can better serve you and your clients. Certainly. And we've got a couple of questions in the chat. I am going to prioritize the final question we have in the Q&A here. Kristen has asked, like, can we talk about how to get customers to not pay by check? Any best practices there? It's, for a lot of people, it's almost like a life philosophy that they just believe in checks, and that's the way it works, even though, objectively, we understand all of the, all of the kind of reasons why, check fraud happens, settlement times are slower, like it hurts cash flow for your business. Like there's all these like very logical reasons why checks are bad. So our best option and our suggestion is always to focus in on speed of payments. The fact that with Relay, you can request payment details. We've definitely gotten feedback from the accounting and bookkeeping community to start charging $2 per bill pay check that we send out, so that there's actually like a financial incentive to use ACH in that context. I wonder actually if this topic of like, can we talk about how to get customers to not pay by check is just, a ebook or a webinar waiting to happen. Mattis, that might be one we can do. Cool. So we have a couple questions here in the chat, just being sensitive to time. So we have a couple of questions about cash deposits. If you do have questions of how this like new cash deposits functionality is going to work, just reach out to us as we share. Like our emails are in the chat, and happy to talk through how we can get that set up for your clients and what your clients' needs are. As we talked about, Relay Pro, you're going to get the same day ACH. That is going to be included. Peter, I see you making a request for a t-shirt in the chat. I think Mattis has got that. Just in case not, please send us. Mattis, maybe let us know in the chat if we've got that. Chris is asking for an integration with Stripe. Henry, is that something we're going to do?
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. It's something that makes a lot of sense and is in the basket of consideration at the moment.
Yeah. So if other people want a Stripe integration, reach out to Henry. Flood his inbox. Deafen him with Stripe or Stripe integration requests. And then Ian is saying, I want manual checks only so I can make a Relay a requirement for new clients. Thank you, Ian. That's super helpful feedback. And Yolanda, the limit is up to 20 accounts. And t-shirts, okay, lots of stuff about t-shirts. And then a question about when do we get moved to same day ACH? I think Henry.
You'll get plenty of heads up, and you actually won't get. First of all, you'll have the option every time you send a payment out. So it's not it's not like all of a sudden you're going to be only sending same day ACHs. You'll have the option. You'll choose ACH or same day, and then it'll be happening around the end of June, and you'll get notifications about that ahead of time. And then as an advisor, you'll actually just turn on Relay Pro, even though it's going to be free. You'll see some sort of like notifications about it, and then you'll get to just turn it on, and then that way you'll know, hey, you've got access, and then you'll be off to the races. I think my biggest takeaway from today, Yusuf, was that we should let advisors decide how much checks cost to send out for their clients, so they can turn up the heat.
Actually, it's actually not a bad idea, right? It's like if we put a cap on it and said it was up to $2, right? You can charge them whatever the amount is.
Here's the incentive to use ACH payments.
That's actually not a bad idea. I wonder how you handle that from a messaging perspective. It's a fun idea. Sweet. Thank you everyone for spending time with us today. Really super fun. We should obviously do more of these. So we look forward to continuing the conversation as always. Thanks for making the time.
Thanks, everybody.